So this is where we left off at the main activity. Now, one thing we didn't do in the previous episode is that we didn't run the project, but here we're going to run it. So this is how it looks like at this moment. That's how the project actually previously looked like. So I've just made some minor changes to the project by adding some few. I've just changed some styles, and that's what you're going to do. You are going to change the parent theme from appcompat dark action bar to theme.material_components.light.dark action bar. Now you're going to do this right after you've make sure that is you make sure under your Gradle scripts in module app build.gradle module app you have this dependency, the com.google android material components version 1.10. now you can just pause the video from here, then you just copy the implementation. So let's just run the project and see the output. Now I have my emulator here and I'm going to run it here, and then you can see the output. So once you change the theme to material components, most of these colors will just come out automatically. We didn't actually add a color in the previous video, but once you change the styles to material components, then you are likely to get these colors. So there's my project. It has run. So there's one thing that we are supposed to see. The project we are supposed to do is supposed to look something like this. So you can see here at the bottom, create is in this color, and here forgot password is also in this color. And so we also have this shape and the round corners here, and also this thing is the title here, sign in, is in bold. Now these are the things that we're going to do in this episode. First of all, I started as you can see on my project, it's already colored. And how did I do this? So we can just go back and see how we can do this. Now this is the text view that is colored, and it uses a string reference. The previous video I had coded a string just like this one but now I've just changed everything. So under res, resources, values and strings .xml, the string there is, so from here you can just pause this video and get these resources, but still otherwise I'll just add a link to my GitHub repository so that you can actually get these files. But from here you can just pause the video and copy some of these string resources. I'm using don't have an account, and then you create. So the color, the difference of the color comes from this point where I've just added a font tag inside the string resource. So this is the color that I'm using there. And for the color resources, here are the color resources. You can also pause the video from this point. Now these are the colors that I'll be using throughout this project. And I also have the dimensions here, and these are the dimensions for the entire project that I'll be using from now on until the end of the project. So you can also pause this video and copy these dimensions. Now having done all this, we are supposed to first of all we change we just make a shape drawable to suit the button that was in the art that we wanted to design. So we can do this by actually going to the drawables folder, and you right click on it, then you go to new drawable resource file, and then you can create it like a circular shape, circular button shape. Then the root element here becomes a shape. Then you can just click on OK. So once you get this, we can just start writing the shape, and the shape here is rectangle. That's our base. Then you're going to have a solid tag. Then the color is going to be given the color accent. Then we're going to add the corners. And we're just going to give it a radius of card view corner radius. And now this is a dimension that I had previously, and its value is given as 16 dp. This is the one, card view corner radius, and then we get a shape of the kind. Then we can just come to the button. The button is here, and we just set the background to the drawable resource we've just made. Then once we do that, we can just change the text here, the text color to white. And here also, this text view, we are going to change this and refer back to our string resources. Now the resource here is this one. You forgot password title, and this the resource that you're going to use. And mind you, there's a font color here, so we'll have a string resource with different colors. So we're going to write at string stroke forgot password. Okay, now next here, now that we've already done this, and now we've actually finished the button, we're going to do the corners of the text input, edit texts. Now we can just achieve this by using a card view. We can just use a material card view. Of match parent, then we use wrap content, and we can just use the corner radius, cut corner radius, to the dimension that we already had, and that is 16 dp. Then we can close that tag, and then we can copy paste all these inside the card view. Then in my dimensions folder, I had under strings, I had a password string resource, the password prompt, and that's what I'm going to be using again here. And here I'm going to use a margin top of 16 dp. And that is margin max. Now I'm going to copy this card view, just because we are programmers and we are lazy. So I'm going to copy that one. I'm going to just copy and paste it here. Then I'm going to close this tag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this text input layout and put it inside the card view. Then also I'm going to use a string resource here, and so I'm going to change the string here to email prompt. Okay, now what is left, we have to change this also. We have to give it a resource, a string resource, and it's sign-in title, the sign-in title. Okay, now we're going to bold this also. Text style is bold. Now let's just run the project and view it on the emulator. So we're going to save it first, and then I will run the project. Now it should give us something close to this, only that we don't have this password toggle, but we're going to add it right now. That's what we're going to do. So it's normally given inside the text input layout, up to toggle. If the app password toggle enabled, that is, we set it to true, then it's going to appear. So once the user types a password and I clicks on the drawable, then it's not going to show or to reveal the characters. But once it's disabled, then but once it's enabled, then it's just going to show the characters on the layout. Now let's just open our, as it already processes and runs the project, let's just go straight to our sign up activity. So let's open the XML file. So this thing is empty. Our layout is empty, and we are supposed to get something like this. So we are supposed to create an interface that looks like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy paste most of the items, and then we just modify them in the layout. So we can just change this to a linear layout. Then give it an orientation of vertical. An orientation of vertical. So the first thing we start with is the title, and then this subtext here. So we're going to just take this title here. Let's copy that one. Paste it here. Now we're going to give this gravity center. Then we're going to add another text view of content, and the text is, I had a string resource for this, and it's under strings, create account title, and I also had a string resource for this, that is the sign up title. So this we're going to add text color here to black, color black. Then one thing, we are going to add padding here to 16 dp, which is padding max. So one thing that is left is just text input layouts, and you're going to get that from here. So we're going to copy paste okay. So far the layout is not far away, not so far off from this kind of layout. So okay, the project has just run. Let's just, so as we can see, it actually worked out fine, except for the bottom. You didn't get a background, but you're going to fix this. But the colors, they're okay, and the corners are also fine. So we can just remove these IDs. So what we had in the design is the first name, last name, and the email address. So that's what you're going to add into our app. Now in my string resources, I had created all these. So this is the first name. This is the second name or last name. And this is the email. First name, last name, email, and finally ID number, and then phone number, and then password. So this is the ID number prompt, then the phone number, strings. I didn't actually include a phone number here, string, so I'm going to do that. Phone number, prompt. Phone number. Okay, so you're going to reference this one. Then finally we have the password. Then we have one more field, that is the confirm password. Okay, so our layout is okay, from first name, last name to, so we have most of these elements. Now we need a button. And some text at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to add here text view, image parent of content, then background, okay. There's one more important thing here that we didn't add. To make this thing scrollable, you're going to use a nested scroll view. Okay, then the nested scroll view, it only takes one root element, and we're going to use a linear layout here. Okay, so never mind about this layout. Sometimes it's normally slow to pick the changes. So we're going to add padding here. We're going to use padding max, so that should give us a scrolling view. Content. This text is the text that appears at the bottom. Now, by tapping create account, I agree. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to give it a margin top of 16 dp. So this one also. Okay, so we can just run the project in our devices and see the changes. Now the next thing that we're going to do is to remove this toolbar, the toolbar on top here, and we also change the color of the status bar and also the navigation bar color. So we're going to do that in styles, a styles file. Now the easiest way to have a bunch of styles here that we are supposed to be using, the easiest way to do all that is to include this style in the activity. So you can also pause the screen from here and copy this style. Now this is a login theme that we can use, which changes the status bar color, the navigation bar, and also the light status bar. So this theme we are going to apply it to that specific activity in the main in the manifest file. So this is it. So we're going to change the theme and style. Login theme. So it has actually run, and if we try, and so okay, it works. The toggle password works. It actually works. Okay, we have an error there, so we have to sort it out. So there's an error. So before you continue, let's just save this project and run the changes of the theme and see how they affect the application. So it has actually changed the colors. Let's change the colors. So what is left is to remove the toolbar, and we can do this in the styles. We change this to no action bar. So once we do that, then we can just save the project, then run it.
Take your time, hurry up. Choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest, as a friend, as an old memory.
So yeah, once you run the project, then you're supposed to be getting something of this sort.